Chairman, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate this committee hearing, and I appreciate the bipartisan nature of the markup and the bills that are moving. But it is difficult to sit here and hold a bipartisan markup when President Trump and Elon Musk and their team of government arsonists are blatantly violating the law by withholding federal funds, seizing control of critical government systems, and even proposing to eliminate whole agencies by executive fiat. Given the lawlessness reigning at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, why should we believe that the federal government will implement anything that Congress passes? It is more than a bit ridiculous that this committee is proceeding with business as usual in this climate. I filed Markey Amendment number 1 on my own legislation, the Ticket Act, to address an especially concerning abuse of government power. Over the weekend, Elon Musk and the Doge team physically seized control of a critical payment system at the Treasury Department, locked out the career employees, and proposed to start cutting off payments based on random tweets or messages. This takeover is at the heart of irresponsibility. Musk and his team now have access to sensitive personal information of millions of Americans, including their Social Security numbers and bank account information. They could shut off payments to Musk's competitors, giving his companies an unfair competitive advantage. And more likely, they will accidentally shut off payments that are critical for Americans to afford food, housing, and medicine. Markey number 1 would make it a violation of the Federal Trade Commission Act for the following individuals to access Treasury's central payment system. Number 1, a member of the public. Number 2, a career staffer who is also an executive officer or controlling shareholder of a company. Or 3, a political appointee who has not yet signed an ethics agreement. This amendment ensures that only individuals without a conflict of interest and who have a verified role in the federal government have access to these sensitive systems. Before last week, it might have seemed absurd to pass legislation to limit access to Treasury's payment systems, but Musk and his gang's recent actions demand an urgent legislative response to safeguard this critical financial infrastructure. My colleagues may argue that the Federal Trade Commission Act is a strange mechanism to block access to Treasury's payment system, but that access creates the type of privacy, cybersecurity, and competition risks that are at the heart of the Federal Trade Commission's mission and were the reason that Congress passed the Federal Trade Commission Act over a century ago. I believe that this is a critical amendment. I'm proud to partner on the AM Radio Act with you, but even if these bills pass, I have no confidence that this administration will implement the good work that this committee has done. So I urge my colleagues to stand up for our powers as the first branch of government, defend our legislative prerogative, and send a message to this administration that we will not roll over in the face of obstruction, coercion, and lawlessness, and I urge my colleagues to vote yes.